But it's a bit of a bizarre situation for me. Like, there was a lot of people in boxing that were saying that this is a really tough fight. Like, Lamont Roach is a serious fighter. I said it might not be the biggest profile fight, but it's actually quite a tough fight. And Shakur said to me, like, even the day before,
Gervonta Davis has received more warnings from boxing professionals against a rematch with Lamont Roach. One of the biggest shocks of 2025 has been the results of Gervonta Davis' latest fight against Lamont Roach. It was so shocking that the World Boxing Association lightweight champion bowed his head in shame in his corner after the fight was declared a draw.
Oh, hey, I'm telling you, we go all 2025. Your time coming. Never lost money on me.
A rematch seems the likely option, but these boxing professionals think otherwise. They think Davis is taking a big risk. The fight went the full 12-round distance and ended with the judges scoring at 115, 113 Davis, and 114 twice, meaning it ended in a majority decision draw. Though Roach would have won if the knockdown had been scored, Leonard Ellerbe has long been with the Gervonta Tank Davis's team, and after the weekend's draw with Lamont Roach, Ellerbe has spoken. Ellerbe knows Davis as well as most in boxing. Speaking on X to former fighter Sergio Mora criticizing Davis in the fight, Ellerbe said, "Him talking retirement has nothing to do with competition. Do you know what that man has been through? He's a great fighter, but he's also human, and sometimes life can be overwhelming when you go through things at any age. You thought he lost to Pitbull also, so it doesn't surprise me. The fact is, Lamont Roach is a class operator, and there is a reason the likes of Shakur Stevenson want to fight him." Davis had an off night, but is still young by today's standards. With athletes staying in pro sports much longer than ever now, he'll be back. The key moment happened in round 9 when, having been hit by a punch from Roach, Davis then waited a moment before taking a knee. He then rushed to his corner and asked for his face to be wiped, later saying that grease from his hair was burning his eyes. Referee Willis initially issued a count after the champion took a knee, though he later reversed that decision and ruled it as a non-knockdown. The judges subsequently did not include the incident in their scoring, despite the fact that a knockdown for Roach would have given the challenger the victory. The New York State Athletic Commission later said that a technical issue prevented officials from reviewing replays of the incident. And in a now-deleted post on their website, a World Boxing Association columnist attempted to defend Willis's decision, saying that, "From our perspective, Willis's decision was not unreasonable or unjustifiable. He ruled in real time that Davis had not been struck by a punch before going down, and therefore, no knockdown should be recorded," it said. Judges, by regulation, must follow the referee's rulings. They do not have the authority to override his decisions on knockdowns. Some skeptics have suggested that Willis's call benefited Davis unfairly, but we do not subscribe to that notion, it added.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My confidence has been up. I've been knew I was the best.
What's your worst?
Canelo Alvarez, who recently inked a 4-fight deal with His Excellency Turki Alalshik, sat down for an interview with Peter Rosenberg of Hot 97 yesterday. The conversation covered his upcoming bouts and his new partnership with His Excellency Turki Alalshik. But amid all the buzz, Rosenberg seized the moment to ask about the controversial March 1st fight in Brooklyn. Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point? Rosenberg asked. The Mexican champion replied, "He took a knee, you need to lose like 10. 8 that round at least."
Did Gervonta Davis take a knee, and should he have been deducted a point and in the end lost that fight to Roach, in your opinion?
Yeah, in my opinion, it was a...
The 34-year-old also pointed out, the corner, he went up and put the towel in the face. That's disqualification for sure. According to boxing rules, if a fighter's corner intervenes mid-round without the referee's approval, it's grounds for disqualification. So when Calvin Ford jumped in to wipe Tank's face, it could very well be seen as outside interference. With 62 wins under his belt, Canelo made it clear that his take on the matter wasn't about favoritism, it was about playing by the book.
Throw, he take a knee. And plus the corner go up and put a towel in the face, that's a disqualification.
I am talking about the rules, the Guadalajara native emphasized. Former undisputed lightweight and WBC junior welterweight champion Devin Haney was among them. Haney said he wasn't completely shocked by how Roach Jr. performed, noting how they came up through the amateurs together though. Davis taking a knee in the 9th round only for it to not be ruled a knockdown by referee Steve Willis was something he'd never seen.
Up in amateurs together, so I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight, but he did a lot better than
I thought it was a good fight overall, Haney said. I always knew Lamont wasn't coming to lay down. I've known Lamont since we were kids, so we came up in amateurs together, so I knew that Lamont was serious. He was coming there to fight, but he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. The no knockdown, that was unheard of. That was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes. Hence, Haney warned that even in the rematch, Lamont wasn't going to lay down.
I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever.
Haney will make his return in a welterweight bout against former unified junior welterweight champion Jose Ramirez. Speaking to Boxing Gems, Hall of Fame fighter turned analyst Tim Bradley said that was unacceptable.
Yeah, they made the rules up as, of course, Tank the house fighter. They made the rules up. Yeah, that was bullshit. It should have been called a knockdown. You can't take a break like that. The only person that can do that is the referee.
The knee was crap. They made the rules up. Tank's the house fighter. It should have been called a knockdown. You can't take a break like that. The only person that can do that is the referee. The referee can stop the action, not the other way around. Tank basically told him, hey, I got something in my eye, guy. I need to go to the corner so they can wipe it out. You don't get timeouts like that in boxing. That should have been a knockdown, period. Bradley then revealed that after watching the action twice, he had Roach as the winner.
The referee can stop the action and say, hey, let me take it to the corner so they can wipe it out. You don't get timeouts like that in boxing, yo. So that was bullshit.
I already went back and watched it. Tank Davis lost. I wasn't scoring it the first time around. People were asking me, who do you think won that round? I was like close or whatever cause I was on my own live. But I went back and I watched it and damn, Tank lost that. Even without the knockdown he lost. He just didn't do enough work. Davis has said he is open to a rematch, but it won't happen next, leading to speculation that he already had his next opponent lined up pre-fight.
That should have been a knockdown, period. I've already went back and I watched it. Tank lost. I watched it when I wasn't scoring it.
Renowned commentator and broadcaster is apparently getting back into the highest level of the boxing game soon and gave his latest take. Lampley is known for expert analysis over the years for HBO, speaking to Fight Hype after the Tank versus Roach draw this weekend in NYC. Lampley said of a possible Shakur Stevenson fight, Stevenson has a reputation as being the best defender in the division. He is a feared fighter because of that particular quality. If I'm Tank Davis and I'm coming off a disappointment in terms of my offensive output, I'm not going straight to the best defender in the division. I'm looking for some other fight, and I think the logical fight for him is a rematch with Lamont Roach. Let's see it again. Let's see if Roach can go ahead and capitalize on what he showed here tonight, which is that he was a much better fighter at 135 pounds than most of us expected him to be. Now, after recently discussing the possibility of retiring, Davis, nicknamed Tank, needs to decide if he is willing to put the work into his career inside and outside of the ring to remain not only an undefeated champion, but one of the biggest names in the sport. Though he hinted that another fight would take place before a rematch with Roach, Davis needs an immediate rematch and a dominant victory over Roach to remain perhaps the most popular American boxer in the world.
Split decision win. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, oh shit, here it goes. But as soon as I heard that 114, I was just like, man, alright, it's over with.
Many believe that Roach Jr. and his team have a great case for getting this call overturned if they appeal, which they're already in the process of doing, an outcome that Roach Jr. has teased on social media. And Roach Jr. is stating his knockdown overturn case and what it would mean for the fight's outcome with a series of X posts on March 5th. The first of which wrote, "Y'all tweaking if y'all think Buddy was off or some or had an off night. That stuff is just different there with me. I told y'all from the start, just because I feel like I won y'all acting like I said he was easy work or some. The knockdown gives me a UD." He followed this up by asserting, "I did take care of that in the ring, Ely. You are about to make me get on you. With this bias, I know he yo peoples and but leave it be. I ain't suing anybody. I'm getting a clear knockdown situated that they robbed me off. Get it right, guy. Report that."
So, yeah, man, it's just crazy. I ain't gonna lie. It's okay. We gonna run it back. It's okay.
When someone suggested that the knockdown getting overturned would mean he won a split decision rather than a unanimous decision over Davis, Roach Jr. said, "The guy who scored the fight for Tank gave him that round. If the knockdown count is 10, 8 my way, that's a 3-point swing, so I would have won that card too. Go back to your cave, casual." Roach Jr. is right that a knockdown overturn would earn him a unanimous decision and not a split decision victory, but he would surely be happy with either. The major takeaway from Davis-Roach was not that Tank had been exposed as some kind of fraud or had turned in a lousy performance. It was that Roach fought masterfully and had just the right talent level and game plan to give Davis fits.
When you think about what happened in the 9th round, how frustrated are you that that wasn't counted as a knockdown?
Man.
That's not to say Tank doesn't deserve criticism for his performance. As many people have pointed out, his tendency to start slow and to be excessively economical with his punches caught up to him or nearly caught up to him, depending on how you view him getting a draw on his record. And his behavior in the 9th round, thinking he could call timeout by taking a knee, thinking it was within the rules for him to ask his cornermen to towel grease from his eyes, basically him assuming A-side treatment from Willis, and getting it deserves endless criticism. But Roach deserves credit more than Davis deserves criticism. He took on an elite counterpuncher and out-countered him, answering nearly every Davis left hook with a right hand. He didn't bite on Tank's traps and feints and patiently waited and set some traps of his own.
Honestly, I thought I should have won without that being counted a knockdown. Look, I ain't the ref. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he had to wipe sweat out.
When he traded punches, he did so just long enough to let Davis know he meant business and then got out of there and stopped exchanging. And he must have a tremendous chin, because while his defense, anticipation, and counterpunching limited the number of clean shots he took, he still got cracked on the jaw a few times and emerged to hear scores read. Something Tank's opponents aren't supposed to do. Davis was a betting favorite when the fight began. There were plenty of folks in boxing ripping this as a pointless mismatch, but there were also sharper students of the game touting Roach as a challenger who would likely be competitive. Still, I didn't see anyone picking the Reaper to take a scythe to Tank's perfect record.
Out his eye, he had the white sweat out his eye, but the rules do state if you voluntarily take a knee, then that's an automatic 8 count. But it is what it is. I wasn't relying on that. I was relying on what I was doing in there. I think I was taking control. I think I was landing more shots. I think I was landing more power shots.
The outcome is something of a lesson that superstars should take the biggest fights they can when they can, because sometimes that marking time bout is the one that bites you. Still, any damage to Davis's reputation can be quickly undone. All he needs to do is sign for an immediate rematch with Roach and get the win next time. At the post-fight press conference, Davis was teasing an unspecified bigger fight that he said would come first. Some speculated maybe that was Tank against Stevenson. For argument's sake, let's say that's precisely what Team Davis has in mind. Well, unfortunately, that fight just lost a lot of its luster.
But if that was kind of a knockdown, I would win the majority decision.
Yeah, Lamont, this is Matt from Brun.
With a fight like Tank versus Shakur, one that would be billed as potentially determining who is the best American boxer younger than 30, you can't have one of them coming directly off a fight most people think he deserved to lose as a favorite. Davis needs the Roach rematch, even though winning it won't be easy, to re-maximize interest in fights against Stevenson and other Four Princes level opponents. The sight of a draw on Davis's record is not a massive hit to his marketability, but the feeling that he was second best in his most recent fight is. So he needs to replace that with another more recent fight in which he is not second best.
I don't know, did y'all see me in the ring tell him to keep counting? he started counting. I was like, why you stop? Like, keep counting. But I honestly don't know. I don't know. But
Davis-Roach II needs to happen, and it needs to happen next. And it ought to happen in a location where Davis's Baltimore fans and Roach's DC fans can combine to create the most dynamic possible atmosphere, and where New York's Willis, usually a fine ref by the way, will not be on the commission's shortlist. Well, that's it with Tank Davis right now, the star that once shone bright and was deemed the next big thing after Floyd Mayweather, but now has to battle his inner demons and face the overwhelming task of coming back from a position he'd never found himself in all through his career.
The fight, yeah, just didn't do enough work. I thought that Roach's game plan was.
Davis entered the fight as a massive favorite and was expected by many to collect his 29th career knockout by stopping Roach, who was making his lightweight debut. Behind a pro-Davis crowd, Tank was unable to give the fans the highlight reel finish they have come to expect from the Baltimore native. Instead, Roach stood in the line of fire, absorbed what the hard-hitting Davis had to offer, and responded with shots that stunned not only Davis, but those in attendance. The notoriously patient Davis got off to a slow start in the early rounds as he waited for Roach to make a mistake that he could capitalize on. But Roach refused to give Davis the window to counter and press the action. Davis smiled and talked to Roach early in the fight, but had to get serious once he realized that his opponent wouldn't wilt under the bright lights. Roach Jr., 29, had faced Davis in the amateurs and fell short.
Start there too. I feel like Lamont definitely won. All right, G. I feel like Lamont Roach won. I definitely feel like Lamont Roach won. But a draw, like, it is what it is type shit, you know? I ain't hating on the decision.
Their careers went in different directions once they turned pro, with Davis being one of boxing's biggest stars and Roach being known as a solid fighter who lost in his only other opportunity at a world championship in a defeat to Jamel Herring for the World Boxing Organization super featherweight title in 2019. Davis's ascent to stardom was punctuated by his knockout win over Ryan Garcia in 2023, where he laid claim to be the face of boxing. He almost let the title slip away in an underwhelming performance. Their history may have given Davis a false sense of confidence heading into the fight, but Roach was well prepared for everything Tank had to offer, including his renowned fight-ending power. By the middle rounds, Davis's smile dissolved, and he realized that the knockout he expected wouldn't come easy. The champion began to let his hands go to create openings, but Roach held his ground and caught the champion with counters and combinations. Davis worked almost exclusively to the body, banging away as Roach stayed on the front foot and pushed forward. Undeterred, Roach would sneak a counter in whenever Davis' assault stalled. In round 8, Roach stunned Davis with a counter right hand. Although Davis was never in any real danger, the counter-punching signaled that he couldn't rumble recklessly. I feel like I was breaking him down as the rounds were going on, but he kept coming, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, Davis said. I kept it cautious. Realizing the fight could be slipping away, Davis, 30, pressed the action in the championship rounds. Although he landed some big power shots, he never came close to hurting Roach, but the activity gave him the final 2 rounds on all 3 scorecards to salvage the draw and leave New York with the title. Davis landed 103 of 279 punches in an extremely economic affair, while Roach was more active, landing 112 of 400 punches.
It was a great event. Great event. It was a great fight. They put in a fantastic performance. Both of them did, for real. Both of them really did put in a fantastic performance. It was a great fight, you know. All that good stuff. You know.
I'm just a little disappointed in the decision, Roach said. I thought I pulled it out, but that's what 2 skilled fighters do. I definitely thought I won, but we could run it back. Even though I didn't win tonight, I thought I did, but it's a win for me in my book. We are not satisfied with that. We need a real W. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.